everybody, it's me again. So I was asked, and I think it was Crystal that asked me, she said, I love square nails. Can you do something with a square nail? And I was like, oh, I never do square nails. It's been so long because everything's like tapered square or coffin or ballerina or stiletto. Yeah, or almond, you know. And my brain had a bit of a brain fart then. So I'm going to do a square nail. And same thing with the form, trying to get it to fit as best I can. So it's not going to be perfect, but I will do some more sculpting demonstrations, I think, on myself from now on, and just use tips on the Flexi Finger. So I'm going to do a clear base. I'm using glass slippers by the Glitterbells system, which I absolutely love. I think that's me settled now. I do want to get some of the CJP colours, but I will use them with Glitterbells monomer because it's the one monomer that doesn't make my husband want to throw up, and it doesn't give me a headache. So I'm just laying that down now. Because the tip doesn't fit particularly well that's on the Flexi Finger, I'm putting a slightly thicker base layer down than I would on a human. You can go super thin on a human because you have that form fitting extra tight and neat, so you can really kind of lay down a thin clear layer. So this is thicker than I would normally, but I will show you the difference when I do mine. It's just I'm not doing them until after Oliver's operation. So I'm literally just taking those stress points because they're going to be more prone to breaking with the way that the tip is shaped. And I'm adding this now and getting my structure in now. I could have done it with colour, but I think if you've got a nice clear base, then if this was on a client, you would be able to file back to that when they come in for a redesign. Oh, I must show you guys. I'm going to give you guys a salon tour as soon as it's finished. So I'm going to check if it's ready for pinching now. If you see it's slightly sticky, it's not ready yet. It will just go to mush. So as soon as I feel that it is ready and the form's popping off, it's just joyous, isn't it? Struggles. As soon as I feel that it is ready, then I'll pinch, but I will pinch very carefully with this. Oh yeah, I'll be using Glam and Glits Kaylah and Pink Opal Shimmer from Glitterbells, and I'm going to do a little ombre. I haven't done it before with these two. I just thought I'd have a little go. I don't do a lot of ombres actually because I'm pretty rubbish at them, but I'm just being honest. Some people like Charlotte's nails, oh my god, her ombres just melt together and they are heaven. Mine sort of slop together and not as good, but practice makes perfect. So I was giving that a gentle pinch because we want a nice C curve in there. Oh, this is a new colour I bought called Cruel Intention. I got that this week. Super bright, but it does kind of marble clear, which is strange. And I also got Beyond Pale, which is this one, which is really pretty as well. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I just keep buying colours, really. Just keep buying. I might mix that Cruel Intention with some Kaylah and see what kind of colour I get. So now that it's ready, I'm pinching, releasing the form down, and it just slides off because it's on a Flexi Finger. On a client, you would have to release the top and pull it down, never up. It's very painful for the client if you pull it up. So I'm going to file in the sidewalls nice and straight. Again, it kind of sits differently. There's kind of a hooky, steepy angle because you're doing it on a practice finger and not on a real person. So bear that in mind. I think though the Flexi Finger for me will be one that I use for designs more than anything. So now I've just kind of honed in a bit of the shape. I'm going to go in with the Kaylah at the free edge. Now I roll the bead to stop that marbling because it does marble white. So it just keeps the colour a little bit more solid. I could have worked this a little bit wetter. Would have made it a bit easier, but I didn't. I chose to do a couple of nail videos on a day where I'm having a bad nail day. Isn't that great? Isn't that just amazing? You nail techs will know, you have these days when you just, everything goes right and you have the most amazing ideas, and then you have these days where everything just goes wrong and the whole thing goes tits up and you're like, why do I do this? That was the day I had today. So I'm just blending that back up, working nice and wet, feathering it out, and then patting it down, and then going in any areas where I might need a little bit more colour. I love the fact that you can paint with Glam and Glitz. It really does make it easy. So if you've made your base layer like I did a little bit bulky, you don't need a ton of product to bring that colour to the front. I'm just going to go in along the free edge. I saw a couple of bits that I didn't like. They didn't look very even to me tone wise, so I thought I'd go in with a wet bead and kind of perfect that a little bit more. And I think I hit my brush and dug it into the acrylic. That's what I mean, I was having a real clumsy day. I think it's about, yeah, right now, yeah. I had a weird handy twitch and it just kind of went into the acrylic, and I was like, I swear I'm going to throw this out of the window in a minute. I need some inspiration for my next set of nails. So, like, tag me in photos, or yeah, tag me, because then I can see them, can't I? And then I'll know on like Instagram or Facebook or something, and then I'll put my handles in the description box below, because I just need to see some of your beautiful work so that I can get my head in the game, because I'm just on mummy duty all the time at the moment, so I'm not really thinking enough. So I'm going in with the Opal Shimmer and I'm putting the bead right at the blend line. This is something I saw from Charlotte's Nails, and when she does it, it just makes that blend so seamless that I was like, okay, I need to try it like this, and it does make the ombre easier for sure. I don't think I've done many ombre nails at all, so it is something that I'm still practicing. I went in a bit dry with that, so I did go back in, wet my brush, and then wet the bead again, and it bounces back straight away, instantly. Like, it reacts super great. You've got really good control over your product consistency with the Glitterbells system. That's one thing I do like. If you want to work wet, fine. You want to work dry, fine. It doesn't matter. And I really, really like that. It's quite predictable. If you find that it's coming down too far, just swipe sideways and it releases a bit of that product. And then try to feather back out again. And because you can work thin, you can go back in and correct it. So I think I added a little bit more of the Kaylah at that blend line. Yeah, I did. It's about here. I thought it was. And I didn't flip the bead that time, and as you'll notice, there is some discoloration. But I was working super wet, so I knew I'd sort of play with it anyway. I was going to pop some glitter on it, but I just thought I'll leave it plain, because this is just about doing a basic square nail, and I just wanted to do a little ombre, so I didn't want to fancy it up too much. Fancy it up, is that even a thing? I don't think so. Don't copy my words, they're really wrong. Do you know I write for a living now as well? It's the strangest thing. So that was my cuticle bead, getting that nice and close to the cuticle, tucking it in, nice and neat. That's one thing that, you know, these practice hands are really good for, is your bead placement, practicing getting close to the cuticle but not touching that skin. I really like them for that. Now, because I just wasn't happy with that particular bit there, so I did a kind of sideways swipey blend, and it seemed to just mingle them together a little bit more. Okay, I'm going in with Glitterbells glass slippers. I'm going to cap that. I don't need to build any structure. I've done that because these are strength powders. I'm only just capping so I don't file into my ombre, so I'm just doing a thin layer. I'm not building any structure or putting any, you know, thickness down, because it's a thumbnail. That's another thing. I don't ever do thumbnails. I don't see many people do thumbs, so I thought I'm going to do a thumb just to be different. But they are quite sort of fat, aren't they? So it's not as dainty and elegant. But I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it because I felt like being rebellious and doing a thumb. So I'm just a bad girl. I did put too much of a big bead, so I do sort of flatten that out and take some off. Don't need all that product. It's a bit silly, really. So I need recommendations for a really long, like a long, super thin detailer brush. Super thin. I don't like them bulky. I want super thin for some real fine line work. So please let me know. And I'm still toying over hard gel systems, so any that you think would be worth trying, let me know as well. And any other things, I think I've still got somebody wanting a stiletto sculpted. Okay, so once this is set, I'm just going to go in with my Efile. I think I was on setting 20 or 23. This is from Femme Fatale Nails. I'm telling you, this Efile is fantastic and the price point is superb. I think it was £89. It's brilliant. You need to check it out. I'll put the link in the description box. So I'm just literally debulking. That's all I'm doing. I'm just taking a little bit of work off of my poorly hands and just doing a little bit with an Efile. But there's not a lot to be done. It's just refining, really. And then after that, I'll go in and file my side walls, my cuticle area, my free edge, and just over the whole entire nail. I was kind of looking at it thinking, you just can stop that now. So keeping the file nice and straight and then rolling it up so that you really blend that sharp line up. I'm using my 100/100 grit file from Femme Fatale Nails. Really good file. It's got a lot of balls to it, and it doesn't, you know, blunt quickly. It's really good. I like it. Okay, so I'm just going around my cuticle area. Again, just debulking nice and gently. If I ever look a bit cat-candid, it's only because I have to stop my fingers popping out of joint, so I kind of hold things a bit differently sometimes. Like, it's just adaptation, isn't it? Oh, and I just want to give a shout out actually to Stacey Ward. If you don't see her channel at all, I will link it in the description box below. She's recovering from spinal surgery and she's just so brave and so bright despite being so poorly and continuing to give us amazing videos. So I really want to give her a shout out and a huge virtual hug. And it's her fault that I have a Glam and Glitz addiction, and she knows it as well. She told me I'd develop an addiction to Glam and Glitz, and she was right. Okay, so I'm looking down that nail. I'm actually going to keep moving the nail, turning it around, looking at it from different angles. Sorry, I went out of shot there. I did realise and kind of bring it back down. And what I'm doing is just looking right down the barrel of the nail, looking, is it even on both sides? And then I'll turn it round as well from different perspectives to make sure that everything looks as neat as it possibly can. See, it is tricky when you've got, you know, a tip that's coming out and it's wonky, and so I guess if you're practicing under those conditions, then when you've got an actual person with a firm hand and a real nail, it's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so I just wanted to go again. I was going to white block it and then I was like, no, I need more filing. I need those lines to be a little bit sharper. I think that's the key to really, that's something I said I'd work on this year, was my shaping, so keeping my lines really crisp, and cuticle work. they're my two targets for the next year. So I'm turning the nail around, looking at it from a different perspective, and straight away I was like, okay, I just slightly need to file a bit more. And you must always do that with your client as well. Turn their hand around, because they're going to be looking down at their nails, so you need to see what they are going to see, so that every time they look at it, they get that, oh, look at my nails feeling, and not like, oh. So once I'm finally happy that that shape is nice and crisp and everything's where I want it, I'll then just quickly buff it over with the 180 block. And that just takes out any harsh lines. So when you're top coating, if you're seeing lines after filing, it may be that you're filing with like a 100 grit file and then not buffing. So I always have a little buff. I don't buff it completely smooth, just, you know, take any scratch lines out. So this has been buffed and then wiped over with isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to go in with my top coat. It's just the old-fashioned blue sky top coat. Has anyone tried Annabelle's top coat, a new top coat? If you have, let me know, because I'm thinking of getting it. Either that or I'll get CJP. So yeah, literally just going in, giving it a good top coat and putting it in the lamp for 60 seconds. And then this is the final result. You can see that shimmer now from the Opal shimmer. Really pretty. Nice C-curve, nice square nail. And this is the picture that I took at the end. Thank you, and if you've got any other suggestions, let me know. See you soon.